everybody, it's Thomas here from thomasfitzgeraldphotography.com. Today I am going to look at creating the Agfa Vista look in Lightroom using files from my Fuji X Pro 2 as a starting point. Before I get to that, I just want to show you what my inspiration for this was. I've been following a number of people on Instagram recently, and some of the people that I'm following have been posting some really great images shot on film. So let me just show you one of the people who have inspired me for this. And this is an Instagram artist, and they're a Japanese photographer, and they shoot mostly on film, or at least they seem to shoot. And in particular, they've been posting some beautiful images of hydrangeas, which is one of my favorite flowers. It's a really lovely look shooting on Agfa Vista. At least that's what I can tell from the hashtags that they're using. And there's something really nice about the tones that it's creating. So what I wanted to do is see if I could create something similar from a digital source using my X Pro 2 as the starting point. So I'm using VSCO film. In particular, this is set 5, and set 5 has Agfa Vista in it already. So in this case, I've shot some images of various different flowers, including some nice hydrangeas here. So first of all, let me just take this image and let me go over to the develop module. Now, this is a JPEG. So normally when you're using VSCO film with JPEG, you should probably use the standard version rather than the camera specific version. So let me just go down here to the standard version. The reason for this is when you're using the camera specific one, it uses a dedicated color profile, but because JPEG already has a profile baked into it, you can't really do that, so you need to use one of the standard ones. It doesn't actually matter if you don't, you'll just get a slightly different look. Let's just pick one of these at random. That looks pretty nice to me. Again, you're getting this kind of similar tones, and there are a few issues here. This is partially because I'm using the JPEG for this. There's some color fringing going on, so we'll just see if we can fix that. Yeah, and there's that gone. And let me just straighten this up. And as you can see, if I go back to this person's Instagram page, and you see some of the stuff that they've shot on Agfa, it's not exact, but you're kind of getting the similar feel. There is kind of that same kind of tones, particularly you can see it in the greens. Now obviously you're never going to get it exactly right, but it's not bad. Incidentally, I tried finding some Agfa Vista film and it's very hard to find in Ireland. You can get it alright, but you have to basically send away for it. You can order from Amazon, but I haven't found any local stockists. But anyway, so that's that. Let's move on to the next one. Again, let me just try one of these. The lower down ones. Again, this is a JPEG, so I'm kind of limited what I can do here, but you can see that's, again, it's giving a nice effect and there's a nice tonality to it. Okay, so now we're into some of the DNG files, so we have a bit more room to play with. I kind of prefer the higher ISO ones because there's a bit more grain in it and they give more of a filmy look. However, they can desaturate it a bit, but then that's kind of what you're going for. But we can bring some of this back in. Again, one of the things to remember when working with presets is they are actually just a starting point. You should never consider it as just apply and leave it. Unless, of course, it works perfectly first time, in which case you can apply and leave it, but anyway. So again, we're getting this nice muted colors and the kind of almost pastel type look that you get to this. The only thing that we're not really getting is the overall gamma is a little different, and what I mean by that is the brightness curve. But again, overall, I think we're getting a really nice look here. It certainly does give you a filmy effect, and it is definitely what I was kind of hoping for. Okay, so now we're onto the hydrangeas, which is where I kind of started down this rabbit hole. So let's have a look, and we'll start maybe some of the higher ones and then work our way back. I really like this 800 minus. I think this is kind of the closest to the effect that I was going for. I mean, even at that, that's pretty great straight off. It looks quite filmy to me. Try that one again. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, in some cases you're getting the whites are kind of getting a bit too bright. The thing is though, if you were to shoot this on film, this is actually, it would look like that. But we can tweak that back with the highlights, or we can just leave it. I can make it a bit brighter as well. Another thing I could do is I could use a vignette to bring this in if I wanted to. I'm happy enough with that though. You do start to lose a bit of saturation, but that's okay. We can compensate for that as well, or we can adjust individual colors. The VSCO Set 5 is actually quite nice. It's one of my favorite ones. It's quite nice as well. So like, again, the 800 seems to work really well with this. If I go back to the 400, it's a bit less of an effect. So depending on what you want, that might actually work better. But for me, I find the 800 is kind of more of the slightly old film type effect that you're getting. It does desaturate it slightly though. That's too much. Some of these are pushed, or simulated pushing. Now that I've got this locked down, it's actually just apply and do, and we're done. And there we have it. That is my simulated Agfa Vista look. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful, and if so, give us a thumbs up by hitting the like button below and subscribe to our channel. And you can also support me on Patreon, where you will get some extra content and you'll help keep us making videos like this. And we will see you next time. Okay, thanks a million.